Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm really excited to start something new today. Today, in my mail, came Create This Book by Mariah Elizabeth, and apparently me. I'm a little worried. If you know anything about me, which nobody does, I am not an artist, at least not in any traditional sense. I don't really draw or paint, at least not with any talent to do so. However, I am a crafter. I've quilted for many years, and in the past couple years, I started to crochet, especially amigurumi, little crocheted plushies. So I'm really excited to try something very new with this book. Okay, so this may not be the best setup, but let's just start here. Now, I am going to be using pencil, partially because I may want to use this book for actual art down the road, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to skip all of this stuff that's not really meant for what I'm going to do, and I'm going to skip directly to the rule box, where you create a rule for what you want to do with this book. And my rule is very, very simple. For every prompt, crochet. So that's the plan. For every prompt in the book, I want to crochet something instead of draw or paint or do traditional art. I want to make crocheted, whether animals or food, or even if it's a flat piece. I want to try something completely different. I know I've seen a lot of these with more traditional artists, but I wanted to kind of combine all the really cool things I've seen from the prompt book and art with my crochet. I will, I think, be using a random number generator to choose pages that then translate into prompts, and we'll see what comes from here. I will warn you, I have very poor follow-through, so if you're hoping to see a finished book of prompts, good luck, you'll probably be left wanting. But no matter what, I just wanted to document this. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't really do this for any reason other than I wanted some way to document this process that was not my typical thing. So if you are here, welcome. I hope you do enjoy what I do, and I hope you don't become too disappointed with me when it all fails to resolve into much of anything. But let's see what the first prompt is. So I didn't necessarily think this through the best. I was going to show the random number generator on my phone to show what number it picked, but my phone is also how I'm recording. So you're just going to have to believe me when I say that the very first prompt that I got for the random number generator was number 150. And this is going to be difficult to crochet. Create a test. Test the difference between your right and left hand. Write something in box number 1 with your dominant hand, and try to duplicate your writing or drawing in box 2 using your non-dominant hand. So the best way I can think to relate this to crochet is to crochet with my right hand, and then to try to crochet with my left hand. I am nowhere near ambidextrous, so this will be quite the challenge. So after thinking this through, I think that a little octopus is the best way for me to approach this. I have a quick, simple octopus pattern that I will go ahead and try to crochet with my right hand. Very easy. And then attempt with my left hand. Not so easy. And I will be back with the results. So I've finished my little octopus with my right hand. Took me about 17 minutes. However, I have been on the struggle bus. It has been over 5 minutes trying to crochet with my left hand. And I haven't gotten past trying to even make a magic ring or do chain 2 and get 8 single crochet into that chain 2. We'll see. But I'm not very confident that I can crochet with my left hand. I'm going to keep trying, but I don't know what I'm going to do if I cannot do this. I'm glad I'm not documenting the actual crocheting, because it would be painful to watch me fail. It's a struggle, and we'll see what comes out of this. But like I said, 5 minutes. 5 minutes of trying. And it's like I don't know how to crochet. Like seriously, I can't figure out how to hold things with my right hand to crochet with my left. We'll see. I'm really worried that the very first prompt I'm going to do, I'm going to fail to manage to get anything out of it. I'm back with an update. It's been 7 more minutes, so 12 minutes, over 12 minutes technically, of me trying to crochet with my left hand. I finally stopped trying with a magic ring and just decided to try and see if I could crochet at all with my left hand. So I made a chain of 10-ish and then single crocheted back down that chain. That's what this is. I don't know what I should do with this, but I might see if I can't make it into an octopus. I didn't really try for a certain number. If I had, I would have tried for 8, because that is what I use for my octopi. But we'll see if I can manage to make this into anything that resembles an octopus. But again, it's been over 12 minutes, and this is what I have to show for it. Back for another update. Unfortunately, after the last update, I kind of forgot to start the timer right away, but I think I'm somewhere around 34, 35 minutes since I started trying to crochet with my left hand. I will say, I now have something that resembles 8 legs, tentacles. There is no body as of yet, but it's going. I am attempting something, and I'm not a quitter. I am going to finish something that looks like an octopus with this, with my left hand. I'm probably using far more of my right hand than I really should to assist, but the crochet hook has stayed in my left hand. And that is what I am trying to do here. So I will update again later. And this time actually remember to start my timer. Final update, at least before I go back to the book. I did finish, kind of, the octopus with my left hand crocheting. It was not easy. It took me about 55 minutes. And I have made the executive decision that I'm not going to actually finish it off. I'm not going to tie it off. I'm not going to stuff it. I'm definitely not going to use up safety eyes on it. Because I have every intention of frogging it after I finish this. Frogging, if you're not aware, in crochet and also quilting terms, means to tear it back out, or it's called frogging because it's rip it, that you're ripping it up. So basically I'm going to undo the last nearly hour of work, because I think it's a waste of yarn. There's a quilting term called wombat, waste of money, batting, and time. I believe I've seen womyat, waste of money, yarn, and time. And if I were to leave this as it was, that is what this would be. So I am not going to completely and fully finish this left-hand one. I did finish it in terms of the shape is there, but yeah, it's not gonna live much beyond this video. And I have finished my very first prompt. I did write up in the upper right-hand corner kind of what I plan to do with it. Crochet an octopus with the right hand, then the left hand. How long did they take? Well, my good little octopus friend with my right hand, he took about 17, 18 minutes. I make this little guy a lot, and so I do love to make him, and I'm pretty used to making him. And then there's my left-hand version, which is a hot mess. It does have 8 legs, though they are somewhat different lengths. The stitching is horrible. He's a little pointy. I did go ahead and put stuffing in him because there's a giant hole in the bottom, because I couldn't manage to figure out how to crochet a magic ring with my left hand, so I did some really weird things to make him happen. But he is there. I do still intend to frog him, hence why he's not finished off and is still connected to his yarn ball. But he is done, and I succeeded. He did take me nearly an hour, over 3 times longer than the little girl over here. But it is finished. I am going to add, even though I already kind of started, today's date. I decided I do need the year in there because who knows how long this is going to take me. But so there is my very first prompt in crocheting, create this book. And we'll see where the next one leads us. And for the next prompt, again, you're just going to have to trust me on these numbers. I do promise I'm using random.org to generate the numbers. The next prompt will be 104, which is create your favorite. Make this page your favorite. I think that will mean that I get to crochet one of my favorite things. I'll have to have a think and figure out what that is to me. So, create my favorite. I've been thinking about this, and the very first thing that came to mind when I saw create your favorite was my cats. I have 2 cats, and they are the loves of my life. They are my children. And while you shouldn't have favorites, my baby girl, the very first cat, she was my personal first pet. She's a beautiful black cat. There's something really special about black cats to me, because she was unwanted. She was 2 years old, and the rescue still had her, even though she'd had kittens, and all the kittens went away, and she was still with the rescue. And so I was the lucky one to get her, and she is my baby. Not that my second one isn't just as loved, but I do think that for create my favorite, I need to do a black cat, and that's going to make a wonderful little crochet animal. So it is the next day, and I have finished my second prompt. However, before we get to that, I do want to share a little something that I did overnight. Even though I'm not much of an artist, like I said, while I don't draw and paint well, I can do it. And I decided to have a little fun with the front of the book. So it is now crochet this book. And I did change the little pencil to a crochet hook and added a little yarn ball. They're not that great looking, but I did go ahead and add it. And so in case you saw it, I wanted to show it before the reveal of the next prompt finish. And now for the reveal of prompt number 2. If you recall, it was page 100 and 4. And it was create your favorite. Make this page your favorite. And so I decided that I would crochet my very first pet of my own, my black cat, Kit. And here is that little crocheted nugget. Let me see, I might need to zoom out a little bit to get a little bit better picture. These cat loaves are kind of all the rage right now. This particular pattern is by a YouTuber named False Bubbles. So if you wanted to recreate it, that is who I got the pattern from. I decided not to go super literal. I have made other black cats of my own design previously that probably are a little roughly more realistic. But this is what I decided to fulfill this prompt. A little black cat to represent one of my favorite pets, my little girl Kit, who is a little black cat. So that is the next one, and we will find out what our third prompt will be after this. And hopefully just for a little bit better look, since the angle was not great, this is my little cat loaf. It is now time for my third prompt, but I did forget something on my last prompt before I finish off. I did forget to date the page of the prompt. It is 6/7/24. And now the next prompt, the random number generator gave me 116. Create straight lines. Make a design using only straight lines. Seems fairly straightforward and not too incredibly difficult with crochet, though I'll see how best to challenge myself with this one. I'm looking forward to it. So I've been thinking about it, but I have not yet decided what I want to do for the straight lines. The very first thing I thought of was stripes. There's lots of animals, well, some animals, with stripes. A zebra, a tiger. I definitely was thinking of maybe a snake. But although stripes are theoretically straight lines, I work in the round usually when making amigurumi. And so I'm not sure if that's really working in straight lines. So I've been trying to decide whether I want to try a flat piece, which is more traditional crochet in some ways, more like a blanket, pot holder, something I could make into a bag. Or there are ways to make flat pieces and then put them together to make a stuffed plush, or whether that's an animal, you can make blocks, crocheted blocks that way. I'm still thinking about it. Haven't decided yet exactly what I want to do, but I kind of wanted to share my thought process with you, kind of let you know where I was at, and we'll see what I end up deciding on. So I'm here looking at my yarn wall. I do think I have decided that I'm going to try a flat piece to stay kind of within the spirit of straight lines rather than working in the round like I usually would do. I don't think I want to use any of the variegated colors like those on the bottom. Those just introduce more than I'd like for straight lines, because with the variegation they can definitely not have straight lines depending on where the variegations fall. I'm leaning towards something kind of rainbow colored, though I might try to find a color palette and try to work from that. I also wouldn't mind using some of the stash up on top of some of the little parts that are left, but trying to decide what colors to work with, but I have decided I am going to work on something flat. So I decided on a palette using a old photo of mine that I loved of a sunset. Used a online palette generator to pull colors from that, and then tried to pull yarns to somewhat match those colors, and have started a very flat piece of crochet. It's pretty much like crocheting a blanket, except a little bit smaller. It is not something I am used to doing. I have not crocheted flat pieces since I was in undergrad many, many years ago when I did scarves for people, and lots of scarves for myself, if I remember correctly. But I am working on the project, and once I am done, I will share. I'm here with an update. If you recall, my last prompt that I had was 116, create straight lines. Make a design using only straight lines. And I ended up deciding that to do so, that I would need to do a flat piece of crochet. And I did stripes. I did use a color gradient from a picture that I had and pulled a palette out of that. If I can manage to figure out how to do so, ideally, I will be showing a picture of that, or be showing that picture, and then hopefully also the palette that I drew that came from it, that these colors are based on. So this, while not a finished piece, is kind of the main point of the creating straight lines, that to fulfill the prompt. And so hopefully that is a good way to start, and I will come back when I have a finished product out of this flat piece that I created, with obviously straight lines. Okay, I have a little bit better setup here, hopefully, but I have finished the Create with Straight Lines. If you can't tell, I made kind of a bag purse out of what I had made. I added some other straight lines, supposedly, and made some handles and sewed those on. And so, for the prompt, create straight lines, I did finish that. 6, 10, 24. And so that is the next prompt finished. And I will let you know when I have the next one. And with that, I come to kind of the end of my first episode, I guess, of Create This Book, or for me, Crochet This Book. The very first prompt I had was the one where I crocheted my little octopus with my right hand, and then attempted to crochet one with my left hand, which was a pretty large fail, but I did do it. However, I have already frogged and ripped up that little guy, so I don't have him to show right now. Then I created my favorite, which I made this cute little black cat. Again, this pattern is by False Bubbles. She's on YouTube. And I made this little black cat for my favorite kitty, Kit, who is a black cat. And then finally, I had Create Straight Lines. And for crochet and someone who tends to do amigurumi, and the little plushies done in the round, this was a little bit difficult for me, but I ended up doing flat crochet and doing stripes. And then I made this into a little bag to be able to use. I did choose the palette from a picture of a sunset that I have. So I had fun choosing that palette, and I'm excited to see what happens next. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If you want to see more, let me know. I'm not sure of several things at this point. One, am I going to continue to do multiple prompts in an episode, or should I make these shorter videos with just one-off prompts? Another thing I'm really not sure about, that by the time this is posted, I will have had to make some decision, is that I don't know if I'm going to post this on my regular personal YouTube, or if I should make a new YouTube channel for this content. Again, I don't know how much I'll stick with this. I just wanted to document my progress. This is more for me than for sharing with anyone, but I felt I might as well post it. So most likely this is going to end up on my personal YouTube channel, but who knows? Maybe I'll end up moving it to a new one if this seems like something that I should keep doing and keep up with. Well, again, I'm Sarah. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to see you on the next one.